Welcome to the Got Invention Show. I'm your host, Brian Freed, and today we have young guests from the Young Inventor Challenge, and they're winners of the event. And to start us off, let's learn a little bit about what we're in store for tonight. We have Erin Hoffman. She's the Young Inventor Challenge Director. Welcome to Got Invention Show.
Thank you. Happy to be here, Brian.
Great. Erin, you and I know Mary and just the whole experience of this Young Inventor Challenge, it's been going on for quite some time. Maybe you can give us some insight about the event and what's in store for what we're going to hear tonight with the Young Inventors.
Sure. So 2024 marks our 19th annual Young Inventor Challenge. We've had thousands of kids go through our program and submit their toy and game inventions that have been judged by toy and game professionals in the industry. And they have the opportunity to win the title of Young Inventor Challenge champion. And they also have the possibility of getting their product published by a toy manufacturer and being on store shelves for people to purchase, which is very exciting. So this year, our event happens live on November 9th. Kids are welcome to attend live on November 9th, but all kids must submit their Young Inventor Challenge toy and game inventions online for submission by October 27th. So that is a key date to get registered and submit their toy and game inventions by October 27th this year. And winners will be announced on November 9th. So we're excited to showcase what all these kids have come up with this year.
And it looks like it's the 19th annual Young Inventor Challenge. So this has been going on for quite some time. You said thousands have participated, only few of the winners, and we have a few this evening, which should be fun. But what's nice also, Erin, is whether somebody's watching this today or watching this in the future, I'm sure at some point or another, there's going to be another one. It'll be the 20th, 21st, 22nd, and ongoing. So there'll be opportunities if you miss this that you can do it again, but you have a chance to enter this one.
That's right. And we have a lot of resources available for kids to use this year if they're going to submit, or in the future if they want to think on an idea. So we highly recommend going to our website at shytag.com/YIC. And there's a list of resources there that kids can look at. There's also educator resources for teachers to include this in their curriculum. So we highly recommend going through and looking at some of the winner videos from previous years. We have different brainstorming ideas and activities and worksheets for kids to look at and see if they can find an invention right in their basement or in their current game closet.
Fantastic. And I'm proud to be a part of it by sharing and offering this platform for the young inventors to get their word out to other young inventors that are out there. So Got Invention Show, Inventor Smart Community, we support the Young Inventor Challenge, and I'm sure you know somebody out there who's young and qualified that can be a part of this. So thank you, Erin.
Well,
any final words of wisdom to the participants that are going to be entering?
Well, I would just say all inventions are good inventions. You never know what you might come up with and what manufacturers might be excited to see. So I say, get your thinking caps on and get started on an invention to submit to the Young Inventor Challenge.
That's amazing. So, Erin, you found a couple of the winners that were available for this evening, and let's get them on stage. Okay, here we go. Hi, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing great. So, Erin, it looks like we have Carol Pack. She is the winner of the Junior Best Game, and these are 2023 winners, and we're looking forward to hearing and watching the 2024 winners coming up, but we have the 2023 that will inspire the winners of 2024. So, Carol, welcome. And we have Keegan Frank. He's the Senior Best Game winner, and he has a game called Endless. And then we have Shae Curran, and she has the Zombie Zania, and she won the Junior Most Authentic. So we're excited to hear what you all have to do. So, Erin, thank you. If you can hang tight, and we will get back to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, welcome to the Got Invention Show. Can you believe it? You're on big time TV now. Look at this. So, I wanted to just start off by having you introduce yourselves. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, and then we can get a little bit deeper into what your inspiration was, what you actually invented. So, Carol, why don't you start us off? Why don't you tell us who you are and where you're from?
I'm Carol Pack, and I'm from Illinois.
Okay. And I think that you're friends with Shae, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Shae, why don't you tell us where you're from?
I'm also from Illinois.
Okay. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 5th grade.
Carol, are you also in 5th grade?
I am.
Oh, you're really close buddies then, huh? That's nice. Did you have your class participate in this Young Inventor Challenge?
Well, so it was only the ALPS class, and ALPS is Accelerated Learning Program for Students.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Very nice. So you both have a nice chance to get involved and participate, which is fantastic. And we're going to learn more about your inventions in a moment. Keegan, welcome to Got Invention Show. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what grade you're in, maybe what you're thinking about doing for a living one day, if that's a thing.
Of course. Yeah. My name is Keegan Frank. I'm a 9th grader. I live in Belmont, Massachusetts, which is just outside of Boston. I've been designing games since 3rd grade and have enjoyed doing it throughout all those years. For careers, I'd love to stay involved in the game industry, definitely as a part of my career. And I'm looking forward, hopefully, to publishing Endlist, hopefully sometime in the near future, and bringing it to everybody so they can enjoy it.
Very nice. And are you thinking about games more like video games, or are you talking about kind of like hands-on games?
Well, I love designing both. Endless is a abstract board game, but honestly, I just like making games, whether they're digital or analog, on hardwood, paper, or a computer. So
Great. Well, we're going to be excited to see what you invented. Carol and Shae, what do you plan on doing for a living? Do you have any kind of career inspirations?
Honestly, I'm not sure what I want to do.
Not yet? Okay. What about you, Shae?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Okay. Well, Keegan, you're a little bit older, right? So it's good to kind of start planting the seed there. What about you, Carol and Shae? Is this the first game that you invented?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's exciting. Keegan, have you entered the contest before?
No, 2023 was my first time.
Wow, look at that. And you hit it big the first one. Excellent. All right, so let's find out a little bit about what inspired these games. But before we do, why don't we just kind of go through what your game is about? So why don't we start off with Carol? Carol, can you show us your game?
I have a picture.
Let's get you on solo there. Go ahead.
The game is Catastrophe of Hairballs, and it's these cute little cats that shoot at a target to get points.
Okay.
These are the cats, and this is the target.
What else, Carol?
There's also cards in the game, which are they're right there. And they tell the story of the game, and they can be like good or bad cards, which can get you near the top with points or near the bottom.
Oh, that's interesting. And you made that, you put that together yourself?
Yeah, the cats are made out of socks.
Wow, that's so interesting. Shae, can you tell us about the game that you invented?
So, my game is Zombie Zania, and the scientists, which are the players, try to get their colored organs to make their zombies come to life. So these are the zombies. These are the eggs that the organs are in. These are the organs. And yeah, that's it.
That's great. What, you wanted to say something else?
So it's you would pick a card and it would say something. It would be steal an egg, trade one. Steal an organ, trade an organ. Pick an organ from the hatchery, which where all the eggs are. And the object of the game is to get all the eggs that are your color. There are 4 different colors and 4 different colored zombies.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds interesting. All right, Keegan, let's take a look and see what you have. I know that you have an extra camera that we could put in here so we can see what you have. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your game, Keegan?
So this game is called Endless. It's an abstract strategy game, kind of like chess or checkers. This piece has 2 arrows. So when you spend your turn to move it, it'll move 2 spaces like that. If it lands on a friendly piece, it repeats its move. And this can repeat as many times as is needed until the piece you moved finds an empty space to land on. If it lands on an enemy piece, it repeats its move as normal and then flips over the opposing piece. The goal of the game is to flip over all opposing pieces on the outer ring of the board. If we do this again with the flipped over piece right here, 1, 2, bounce, 1, 2, bounce, 1, 2. It skips the flipped over tile. The board has effectively shrunk to 23 spaces. Additionally, on your turn, you can turn a piece 180 degrees, so next time you move it, it'll move in the other direction. Setting up the game is a choice of the player. They put their 4 here, and they choose any 4 pieces to put however they like on their side of the board, and then put their 2 other pieces in the bank, like this. In addition to moving or turning a piece, they have the option to put a piece from the bank onto one of the shaded tiles on their side of the board, like this, and that puts it in place so they can use it if they want to later in the game. These 2 can come out in any order, but the 4 has to come last. The 4 has the most range of all pieces in the game. However, if it's flipped, your opponent wins immediately and the game is over. That's a brief rundown of the game.
Thank you. Very interesting. So let's talk about this. So Carol, very interesting, right? You have the Catastrophe of Hairballs. What made you come up with this idea to have that type of game to be played by other kids?
I really like cats, but I never got to have one because my mom's allergic. And I also really like shooting with slingshots, so I made a game where cats shoot like slingshots at a target.
That's interesting. And what about you, Shae?
So, when I was like looking like what to do to like make a game, I started by like looking in my basement and I found some Halloween decorations. And like I also found like some Easter decorations and I was like, what if I made a game about this? And then I got Zombie Zania.
Zombie Zania. So it's a little scary for some kids. You're not scared?
No.
The Halloween. So you're putting out zombies for Halloween, and you found different decorations in your garage, or you said in your basement?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. And what about you, Keegan? What inspired you to come up with this game?
So last year during February break, I challenged myself to make a game every day of the week. And I really wanted to create a game like chess, which was like black and white and abstract and had a lot of strategy. So I made a sketch on a sheet of paper of a circle with 24 circles on it and cut out a bunch of pieces and added arrows and ran over to my friend's house. And I'm like, here's how you play. And he destroys me immediately. But it was really fun, and I knew I had something on my hands, so I decided to turn it into what it is now.
You probably don't mind if your friend beats you at your own game, just to know that he's playing it and playing it for the reason you came up with it is probably like the best feeling, right?
Yeah, and it means that people can learn the game quickly if they're able to beat you first try. And also, I had fun still playing the game, and I lost, which was a really good sign. If the game is fun and you lose, then it's a good game.
That's great. And you're coming up with a new game every single day. That's unbelievable. That's some real dedication to being a game designer.
Thank you.
That's great. So, Keegan, let's start with you for this question. So, you had this idea, you said that you made this circle and you started to come up with it. So, what inspired you? Like, what made you come up with this game? And then when you did, what did you do first? You did you get like a piece of paper? Did you have cardboard? Did you start cutting things? Like, when you envisioned this, what were the first, second, and third things that you did?
So I started by just making a doodle. I had previously made a game earlier in the week by just doodling on a sheet of paper and adding rules to it. So I thought, what about a board that loops on itself infinitely? And I drew a circle with a bunch of spaces. And while the first edition of the game was paper, I used my school's laser cutter with the assistance of my engineering teacher and was able to turn the game into a cardboard version that, because of its like 3D qualities and like more durability, I was able to share it with more of my friends. And so from my friends, I got a lot of testing and feedback, and I changed the rules. Like I added the flipping and shrinking mechanic, which wasn't in the original version of the game. And before PAX, which is a game convention in Boston, which is in March, so about a month after I came up with the game, I decided to go to a playtesting area with a wooden version of the game that I also made on the laser cutter and colored in with Sharpie.
Wow, that's great. And Carol, what about you? How did you make it come to life? Like after you thought about the cats and the targets and kind of that experience, what did you do? How did you make it so you can actually start playing it and testing it?
I had this idea where the cats could be kind of stuffed animals. So I got a sock. The original one was my mom's sock, and I stuffed it with fluff, and then I cut a circle in two sides and put a poster tube in it, and then kind of made it into a slingshot from there.
What was the most fun part of this whole experience and this invention? Was it coming up with the idea? Was it thinking about it? I'm sure it was winning the competition, but what about along the way? What do you think was your favorite part?
Winning the competition was good, but I always liked when I went to Chicago to do this. It was so fun to see like everyone else's games and like the adult inventions that they were selling there.
It's fun, right? It's fun to be in that kind of like everybody into doing the same thing, like inventing new products and seeing all the latest products that are coming out and inventions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. And what about you, Shae? When you came up with this idea, what did you do to make it so it came to life? I see that you showed us on your phone, but what did you do to you took all the decorations out of your basement?
Yeah, like the organs like were not a decoration, so like we had to like get like clay and molds and like put like the clay in there and then like have it dry, so like it would be like looking like perfectly like an organ and stuff. And then like I also had to like create a name for it. I had like a lot of ideas, like a lot of them were like skeleton because they're skeletons, and then like a lot of them was, and then and some of them were like also zombie. And I decided on Zombie Zania. I got like the egg cartons, and like to make it look like more like it would like be in a lab, I painted it silver. I put the organs in the eggs, and then we made logos and cards for the game.
It sounds like one of your favorite parts of your game is coming up with the name Zombie Zania, right?
Yeah, it's really fun to say.
How long? What were some of the other names that you thought of?
I think like one of them was like, I can't like really like remember, but like I think like one of them was like Skeleton Scare or something like that.
You definitely came up with a good name, and it won you the competition. So congratulations.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
What's interesting is what Keegan, when you were talking earlier, and you were saying that you had people, your friends, kind of test out the game, and you were adjusting the instructions, you probably realize that when you're inventing a game and the way that you envision the game to be played might not necessarily always work out that way. So when you're coming up with these games and you're testing, how flexible are you to making the changes? Or are you saying, you know what, this is the way that it needs to be played, everybody should play it this way? What kind of gives you that flexibility to adjust when you're watching other people play your game?
I think the point of the game is to have fun with other people. And so if a change to the game is just makes the game more fun and still kind of fits the idea of the original game and doesn't like break the game in any way, then it's a good change to make. So overall, I'm pretty flexible with changing the games. Pretty much all games I make go through a rule change or two after the first couple of playtests with other people. And pretty much always for the better. The rule changes always make the game more fun and improve the next playtest. So people have advice on how to improve it from there, and I make more changes, and so on and so forth.
What about the graphics? I see that all of you have different designs that you included in your games. How did you take from what you had in your head and kind of draw it out? And was it the first time that you came up with that kind of concept, or did you have to draw it over and over again and do different colors? Like, was that a hard part of inventing, Carol?
It was hard. I couldn't decide on what types of colors the cat should be or how the target should look.
And I'm sure that that's part of the growing and learning of your game, because you want it to be good, right? And sometimes you make it and you're like, no, but it's got to be this way, and it's got to, right? So you have to just keep trying things. I make so many different prototypes until I get it the way that I want, and then I want to share it with other people so I see how they use it. And the same thing, like what Keegan was saying, is you want people to test it out, and you want to be open-minded to be able to make it so people can experience it for why you came up with it, right? And what about you, Shae? You have different pieces that you put together. So how did you put them? Like, did you come up with one way and say this is the way it's going to be, or did you have to keep trying and trying and trying?
So I had like a lot of different ways. At first, like it wasn't like different. It wasn't like color coded. But then I realized like that's going to be like way too easy, and like it's not going to take like that long. It's like it's going to be really short, and like you don't like want like a game like too short, and like you don't want a game like too long. So then I decided to make it color coded. And then, but like at first, instead of having like the egg cartons, like keep it like there and stuff, we had like these cardboard sector things, like section things, and like the ones like on the edge would just like roll away, and like it didn't work. So then like we did the egg cartons.
Wow. It's not easy to be an inventor, right? It's not easy. It's just, it takes time and patience, and you have to keep testing and trying until you get it right. So there are inventors that are going to be involved with the next Young Inventor Challenge of 2024, 2025. They're going to just keep working on different inventions and games to be able to present and try to win the same award that you did. Can you give us some advice? Because you said, you kind of walked us through how you did it, you showed us your game, but there were some challenges. But what about the other people that are watching you tonight and watching whenever they watch this? What's some advice and some words of wisdom, as we say, to other inspiring young inventors that are out there so they can work on their invention and their games? Carol, do you want to start?
Well, there were times where I thought creating a game was hard. So just do your best and don't give up.
That's great words. I love that. And what about you, Keegan? You've been at this for a while, and you probably, all your friends are watching you come up with these games, and they're like, you know what? I want to come up with a game too. I want to show Keegan. And if I bring that game to him, he's probably going to help me to make it and work on all the instructions and all that. But there's other other young inventors that are going to be participating and they're watching this interview with you, what kind of advice can you give other young inventors?
Just go for it. Make the game that you want to play. Design it, come up with a couple rules, and just make a draft. And then I think the most important thing you can do is just test that with someone and then improve upon it and figure out what makes the game fun and then try to highlight that in the design.
That's great. And Shae, what about you? You mentioned that you put things together and, you went through some different experiences of thinking about it and changing it and making it and color coding. And I love that you even thought about how long the game should be played, because sometimes I would play a game and I'd be like, oh, it's over? That's too quick. And then some that are too long, I get bored. So those are some great thoughts that you presented to us while you were coming up with your game. But there's other young inventors that are working on their games. So what kind of advice can you give other young inventors that are either inventing board games or inventing anything and want to be in this competition?
So you want a game that really stands out, because it get the judges' attention, and then they'll want to come over and play your game because they think oh my gosh, wait, this looks so interesting.
That's great. One last question for all of you. What did it feel like when you heard that you were the winner of this Young Inventor Challenge for your category? Carol, what was the experience like for you?
Well, I was really excited, and it was so fun to go up on stage and present my award to the whole crowd.
Well, congratulations to that. That's amazing. And what about you, Shae? Tell us what it felt like when they called your name.
So when they called my name, I was super shocked, and I ran up stage super happy and stuff. And I was so surprised, and I saw my friends and they were super happy for me, yay. Stuff like that.
That's great. And Keegan, you've been at this for a while. All of a sudden they said, Keegan Frank, you are the next winner of the senior best game. Congratulations, Keegan Frank. How did that feel?
Oh, it was great. I went up on stage. I was surprised. I had just met a bunch of people that day, and so they were all in the crowd cheering me on. And it was great. I was really proud of myself and just happy that I came up with something that people thought deserved their attention.
Well, congratulations. I just want to ask one more question. I know that it felt good, but did you make some noise? Did you throw your hands up in the air? Did you do a jumping jack? What do you remember how when you win something, what you do? Is it an expression? Is it a facial expression? Is it with hands? On the count of 3, show us what you did when you had your name called as the winner of your category. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, that's great. Let's bring Erin back up. Uh-oh, I saw you laughing back there. Well, Erin, how amazing is it to watch these young inventors? These are just a few, and they are unbelievable. But all these people that participate, whether they win the competition as the award or they're just participating, everybody's a winner. Just to be a part of this experience of coming up with this idea and going through the iterations and the frustrations and the challenges, and then all of a sudden coming up with that name and then being able to be a part of what you and your team have put together with Young Inventor Challenge. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, Erin.
Well, we have to applaud not only the kids that participate, but the teachers and the parents and the siblings and everybody else that is a part of the whole process. Because we know that you've made them play test. We know that you've made them sit through different iterations of your game or whatever you were creating to make it the best that it could be before you submitted it to the Young Inventor Challenge. So we know it's a larger effort than just the inventor, right? We have to test our products, and sometimes our siblings have had enough of us.
That's right. And Carol, Keegan, and Shae, I'm sure you're telling your friends also, if I can do it, you could do it too, right? That's what we're counting on, because we want you as winners to let other people know about it, other kids to know about it, so they can participate. So we're counting on you to keep passing the torch, as they say, to the awards for the other upcoming winners. So congratulations to all of you. Erin, it looks like for the 2024 winning categories for junior and senior, it looks like there's the best pitch, most innovative, most engaging, most original, most marketable, and best potential. So once again, Erin, where can we find out more about this Young Inventor Challenge and how to be involved, whether it's this year, if we make it and you watch this right now, or you watch it next year? Where can we find out more information, Erin?
Yeah, more information can be found at shytag.com/YIC for Young Inventor Challenge. So we encourage everyone to head there to learn more about the program, what they can do throughout the year, and what they can do to submit their product.
That's amazing. All right, so let's say on the count of 3, let's say Young Inventor Challenge, keep on inventing. Are you ready? On the count of 3, and then we'll see you soon. And thank you all for everything that you do, and keep inspiring others. Okay?
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. Young Inventor Challenge. Keep on inventing. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.